Hello there my fellow Holotable heroes and welcome to another Galactic Challenge video. Hope you had a great week behind you and you're looking forward to get your weekend started. But as always, first, a brand new challenge is upon us and oh boy, it is a challenging one. Indeed, we're taken to the planet of Coruscant where we have to take down a squad of Sith using Inquisitors to get max rewards. So as always, I'll cover first the modifiers, the feats, and then show you the battles that I use to get max rewards. So I've got 3 battles for you. So the first one will be on tier 10 using Grand Inquisitor, then tier 6 without Grand Inquisitor, and then finally I'll do Palpatine Terminator train team for the remaining 2 feats as well. So if you're just interested in the battles, there'll be YouTube chapters below as always. So let's review the global modifiers first. Thunder's Applause, you're probably familiar with it already from the territory battles, but if you need a reminder, it does quite a lot of things. I'll just highlight the ones that really pay attention to for this particular challenge. So the enemy and your leaders, so all leaders gain 100 extra speed and are immune to fear. You will not be able to outrun Traya because she's getting 100 extra speed because she's the leader. Well, unless obviously your own leader is faster, but the other guys will not be able to go before Traya most likely. And on top of it all, while there are allies present on the battlefield, the enemy leader cannot fall below 1% health. So that's something to bear in mind, that you won't just be able to knock out Traya straight away. Then obviously we do get this democracy ability here, so whenever we use it, we apply 1 stack of no confidence on the enemy leader. And then once we get the 3rd stack on, we will instantly defeat the leader. So that's what we'll be doing here. And as well, once we do that, we get Thunder's Applause abilities. So then whenever we use special abilities, everybody is called to assist. Now, there's a bit of interaction here, you need to be aware. There is obviously Talon in there, so if Talon is alive and you use then Democracy for the 3rd time, Traya will not get defeated because it looks like Talon's unique will actually save her from dying. And as well, once you do get Thunder's Applause, all of you guys will be assisting. And what does Traya lead do to assist? You will keep losing health and protection, you will keep getting damage there from those assists, which in the end, it makes the battle a little bit more tedious than it should have been. More about that later. So definitely today's global modifier, a huge impact on the outcome of the battle. Now we got Dark Pursuit for the Inquisitors. Again, normally I don't pay too much attention to this modifier, it just does what it does, but this time we really have to utilize pretty much all the abilities that we do get here. So the first one is we will be applying extra purge whenever we use an ability. So the more purge we get, the more cool things we can do. And this time fatigue will actually play a part as well, because once enemies gain 20 stacks of fatigue, you get coup de grace ability. So whenever you use special ability, you deal true damage to the enemy. So this time we actually will be utilizing this a lot in the end, whereas normally, you just gloss over it, it's not really a factor. Same thing for Sith modifier, normally not a huge issue, but because Traya's ability passive cleansing on everybody, this will actually help them out, the modifier. So whenever we defeat somebody, they'll be getting extra health, extra offense, extra turn meter, and recover health. And then as well, whenever they do defeat somebody, they get Dark Ascension buff, and with Dark Ascension, the damage received decreased by 15% and damage dealt increased by 30. So definitely be careful who you leave for the last, because they'll be very tanky, durable, and will be able to hit quite hard. So definitely today modifiers all together very, very powerful for this particular challenge. In terms of feats, obviously we have to win with a full team of Inquisitors, gain stealth 10 times and win with an Undersize squad. Probably plenty of ways to do this, I just did it with Palpatine and it was straightforward. So let's look at the Inquisitor battle first on tier 10. Unfortunately, I've got some bad news for you, because I think without Grand Inquisitor, I'm not sure this is possible to get tier 10. So if you don't have Grand Inquisitor, you will then have to complete tier 6, which I'll show you afterwards, which is relatively easy and, settle for a gold crate. I haven't tried Riva, I'm pretty sure Riva makes things easier, but obviously Riva is even less accessible than Grand Inquisitor, so I will keep my rewatch shelved for this particular challenge and just show you how you can do this with Grand Inquisitor. Speaking of Grand Inquisitor, I have him modded here for speed and lots of offense, because you know he'll be doing some nice big hits, especially on his basic when he's triple tapping. In terms of his abilities, the ones that we'll pay attention to the most this time is Compassion Leaves a Trail. So the first time each enemy reaches 6 stacks of Purge, Grand Inquisitor gains a bonus turn. That's what we'll be doing in the beginning of battle, trying to get 6 stacks of Purge on as many guys as possible, so then Grand Inquisitor is taking lots of bonus turns and starts doing some nice damage. And then we've got his basic, as mentioned before, will be triple tapping on whoever's got 6 stacks of Purge, and that the third tap deals even extra damage as well. And then his special here applies Torture, which will obviously allow us to control Nihilus by landing Torture on him. Moving on, next one up is Seven Sisters, so another key piece here. So I have her modded for speed. And then her electroshock prod ability is pretty useful. It removes buffs, removes turn meter, which is very nice. Now you also have to start paying attention to speed, because you want your 5th brother to be the fastest, and after him 7th sister. Obviously Grand Inquisitor will go first because of the modifier. So my 7th sister was 342, 5th brother is at 349. So you want him to be the fastest so he can go ahead and dispel stealth from Talon, so you can take her down. And that's what you use his AoE to dispel that. Then we got 8th brother. He's a big damage dealer as well, modded him for offense. And then 9th sister, she's there just to take the isolate really from Traya, to be honest. That's her only role, so the rest 4 Inquisitors can go to work. Alright, let's hop in the battle. So the first thing what you will want to do is make sure when you land Torture or Nihilus that he gets 5 stacks of Purge. If he gets 4 or 6, just retreat and go back in. You will want 5. And I'll show you why, because then this will line up nicely with the bonus turns for Grand Inquisitor. There we go, I landed now 6, again back out, and let's try this again. So this is now attempt number 3. Let's go ahead, land the Torture, Nihilus, perfect, 5 stacks of Purge, let's continue the battle. 9th sister gets isolated, that's why 5th brother has to be your fastest, so he can go ahead and dispel their stealth from Talon. And we have now 6 stacks of Purge over Nihilus, which means the Grand Inquisitor gets a bonus turn, basic on Talon. Now she's got 6 stacks of Purge, another bonus turn for your Grand Inquisitor. Use Democracy, again 6 stacks of Purge of Scion, another bonus turn for Grand Inquisitor. So you can go ahead and do an AoE now. Now obviously we have to deal with the taunt there over on Scion, and that's why 7th sister has to go after 5th brother. She can go ahead, dispel the taunt, and now we can just go ahead, do an AoE here and finish off Talon. Now with Talon down, we can actually go and use Democracy again for the 2nd time, and then as soon as we get to use it the 3rd time, Traya will get instantly defeated because Talon is there no longer to save her. Now I'm just trying to obviously go for Nihilus in the meantime. Have to deal with the taunt again with Scion. Let's go ahead, heal up the team with 7th sister. There we go, Democracy, use it for the 3rd time. This instantly defeats Traya. Now with Traya down, these guys won't be able to cleanse themselves as frequently. Savage is the only one that can cleanse. I'm trying to gun down Nihilus, keep getting stuck behind Scion. I was able to land buff immunity with 8th brother on him. Finished off Scion and Nihilus very quickly. And this is where things get a little bit trickier. Savage there defeated 9th sister, so he gets Dark Ascension, which means that I won't be able to do with Coup de Grace 100% max health damage to him, because the damage he received is now reduced. He's got 2 stacks of Dark Ascension as well. I do have now finally Coup de Grace ready to use, but obviously need to wait and use it when you have special ability. Basic will not trigger it. So just keep hammering Savage here. There we go. Alright, so we go, I got special ability, Coup de Grace, but because of Dark Ascension buffs on Savage Press, I wasn't able to get him down, so we'll have to do this one more time, and we'll just keep going. There we go. Keep going, Savage constantly cleansing, but eventually you do get him down. There we go, we got triple tap from Grand Inquisitor, we got Coup de Grace again, special ability on Savage, and down he goes as well. And that's how I completed here on tier 10, Inquisitor's feat with Grand Inquisitor without using Riva. As mentioned before, I don't think it's possible to do this without Grand Inquisitor, because you really need his bonus turns and torture and everything to keep these guys under control. So if you don't, you can just hop down to tier 6 and These guys, as you can see, they don't have Zetas, which means there is no cleansing, there is no savior mechanic or anything. So you should hopefully be able to keep these guys ability blocked, stunned, whatever. The reason why I'm suggesting 7 Sister lead, because then she gets 100 extra speed, so she will be the fastest, and she can go ahead then ability block Nihilus or whoever is causing the most problems to begin with. You can stun them again. Without Zetas, they won't be cleansing, so you can just hopefully quickly pick them apart without any problems whatsoever. So I'm just gonna speed up here because, you know, again, my guy's all relic 7, so I'm not sure what the minimum here gear level has to be to complete tier 6, but hopefully it shouldn't be too challenging. As you can see, we're picking them apart very fast. They can't really cleanse. There we go, finish them off, just flying through, no issues whatsoever. But again, let me know in the comments below, guys, what do you think is if you have lower gear Inquisitors, were you able to get this done on tier 6? Okay, so let's move on to the final 2 feats here. So I'm using Palpatine lead, so modded him for speed. The good thing about Palps is his basic attack, he's gaining 15% turn meter for each shocked enemy. So once we got all 5 enemies shocked, every time he uses basic, he will be gaining 75% turn meter, which means he'll be getting a lot of turns very quickly. And as well, then whenever we can, we'll be using Let the Hate Flow ability, so whenever he uses it, everybody lose 5% health. So this actually will ignore protection. So that's how we're just doing basic, let the hate flow, basic, let the hate flow. It's only cooldown on 3. And that's how we will be able to burn these guys down rather quickly. I'm using Basti here for really 2 reasons. One, her fear ability can also land stagger, so we can keep pushing back turn meter on the enemies. And then her White Lightning acts as an AoE as well if you do target shocked enemy, because remember, we can land actually stagger on Talon, but she's in stealth, so you have to use an AoE to proc that stagger. So that's why White Lightning for Basti here can be very useful. Mara again, modded for speed, and obviously whenever she uses basic, she calls Palps to assist, but most importantly here, her AoE here will be there. Landing shock and stagger on the enemies, and that's why again we'll be able to keep pushing back their turn meter and hopefully get into some turn meter loop. You need a pre-taunting tag. I'm using here Sith Empire Trooper, but can really be anybody that's got a pre-taunt. They're there just to eat up that initial isolate from Treya. Okay, so we go, Treya goes first, Palps goes next, land a shock on Nihilus so he's not gaining bonus turn meter when you debuff Treya and Cyan. Gets an asset down, everybody, land some shocks, land some staggers. I think I need about 3 attempts to land here the staggers on the Sith trio, and then you can just go ahead proc the stagger. I had no stagger on Savage, that's why I put fear on him, so obviously he then can't do a whole lot. I'm gonna use Democracy now, just, you know, to start get those stacks of no confidence. Okay, perfect. So we can now just go and using basics, proc all those staggers. Unfortunately, they're Treya already getting a turn. So we're just gonna do basic, use White Lightning, which will then trigger the stagger on Talon. Let the hate flow, start doing that 5% damage on everybody. Let's go ahead, do an AoE, get another turn for Mara. Hopefully landing this time, there we go, stagger on Treya, push Treya's turn meter back. So here everybody's turn meter is low, everybody's shocked, and now you're just doing basic, let the hate flow, basic, let the hate flow, and you just start draining everybody's health eventually. So you can see Palp Train here in full effect. Now Treya's about to get a turn, so what I'll do, I'll use Democracy now for the 2nd time, and when Treya gets a turn, she will cleanse herself, and she will use Democracy as well. So that's okay, let Treya take a turn here. There we go, I use Democracy, she used Democracy as well, and now we get back to the same loop, spreading here fear and as well stagger, shocks on everybody again, and then we'll just repeat the same thing, just doing basic, let the hate flow. There you go, Savage goes down, and we'll just keep doing the same thing, basic, let the hate flow, until as well Talon goes down. Okay, she's down in the red, now we go. Oh, there we go, she was then finished off by an AoE there from Mara, and now I can go ahead, use Democracy for the 3rd time whenever Treya is about to get a turn. Now remember, we have to gain stealth 10 times, so the only one gaining stealth here is Mara with her AoE that applies shock and stagger. So I'm just trying to delay battle as much as I can. And here Treya is about to get a turn, so I'm going to use Democracy for the third time, which defeats Treya. Again, without Treya, these guys can't cleanse, so again, it's just a case of trying to stall the battle as much as you can here, making sure that Mara gets their stealth 10 times. What also helps once you're just down to Nihilus, he's very tanky, and obviously Shock will prevent health regeneration, but if you use AoE from Palpatine, it will remove the shock and convert it to stun, and then Nihilus can heal back up a little bit as well, so you can kind of stall as long as you feel like you need to. Nihilus will simply not die if you keep removing shock with Palp stun from him. And there you go, after a few minutes, I'm like, without the feat tracker, I'm like, I guess it's enough. I did use ability 10 times, and there we go, very quickly completed here. Stealth 10 times, as well as the Undersize with Palp Mara turn meter train. And that's it, guys, that's all for today's video. Hopefully it was useful and helpful, showing you how I got max rewards here. Again, unfortunately, it seems like it's Grand Inquisitor or bust in today's challenge when it comes to trying to achieve Red Crate. So thank you for watching, I'll see you in the next one, but until then, have fun, enjoy life, and may the RNG be with you, my friends.